The date is September 2nd, and you're listening to Entertain This, a thought-provoking podcast encapsulating all things entertainment. Today we're covering a franchise that you have all heard of, and probably have caught yourself humming to some of their tunes. A show that has brought laughs to families for over 4 decades, and that started with a frog and his banjo. Join us as we cover everything from the beginning to now about the Muppets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the only show on the internet encapsulating all things entertainment. You know it, you love it. It's Entertain This.
Entertain This.
That didn't feel good.
No.
It didn't feel good that time. We've had so many errors going into this one.
Oh, it's been fantastic.
This isn't how we usually run this ship, but I definitely messed up the intro, and we're not going back. We're not going back. We're selling it. We're sailing it down the river, holes and all. No one
swimming, just keep swimming.
Yeah, not even God could sink this ship. So says me. Guys, welcome. Man. Yeah, welcome back to the show. Our current stand-in host, Pat.
So, hi, Pat.
There he is.
Hi, guys.
Hi, buddy.
Pat, you've made it all the way through a month. This is technically the last one that usually we would do, but I think you're staying on even next month. Is that right?
If you have me, guys,
yeah, of course
we will absolutely have you.
But I want to kind of do a brief check-in because this is one official month that you've gone through, so an entire rotation. How you feeling?
Yeah,
how you feeling on this?
Treat this as like a miniature little performance review.
This is like the last mile.
You've done. Yeah,
I don't know, man. Like I feel like I'm doing great. I'd like to hear from you guys by yourself. Just like, what do you think of me? What how have I done? I mean, it sounds like the quality of the audio is becoming better, so that's a start.
Hey, that's a good sign. Well, you did just say Momo for some reason instead of what you were attempting to say, but I'm gonna let that slide.
Oh no,
it's okay.
oh no, Momo.
Oh, Momo.
No, but yes, you're doing an awesome job, Pat.
Yeah,
I think that you're filling in the shoes very well. I think your episode last week on Ed and Eddie was top notch.
Oh, absolutely.
Top notch episode. Well done. So that concludes your performance review. You'll receive a 10% raise, 10% of what you're currently making. You'll get a raise of about 10%. And yeah, we'd love to keep you on for another quarter. See if your sales improve from there. If that sounds okay with you.
That sounds perfect to me, guys.
Great. Well, make this exciting. It's exciting, Pat, because this is your first time being on with a guest. It's a special guest episode today.
Oh, good. Is this the person that emailed us?
Yeah, you know what? A great point to bring up. Did you know that at the end of every episode, we say, if you have any suggestions for us, there are a couple of ways you can let us find out. Number one is to go to our website, www.entertainthis.net/et-podcast. Scroll all the way to the bottom and fill out the little questionnaire there, and we may cover it on the show. Well, our guest this week is the first person to send us a suggestion using that method, and for that reason, to celebrate, we brought her on to be a guest host this month and talk about the topic for which she suggested. None other than give it up for Chloe Davis. Welcome!
Hey.
You're here.
Hey, hello.
Hello. Thank you for filling out our questionnaire and suggesting something that I was shocked we had not covered yet on the show.
I was just as shocked as you are, knowing that the other Chloe is definitely just as much of a fan, if not more, than I am. It's great to have my suggestion taken into consideration. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. It's interesting because there is a subset of people, it almost feels like, who are like Muppet people and like they know and live and love Muppets. And then there's the rest of us who like understand that the Muppets exist, but like past that, maybe the Jason Segel movie we've seen, but there's not much more to it than that. But
right.
But you're an expert, right?
I would consider myself an unhealthy fan. I don't know if expert seems a little generous. I like to feel a little disgusting about it just to kind of keep myself humble.
Okay.
You
It's not
know,
an obsession, is it? Is it? You don't have like posters all over your wall of like the Muppets, right?
I mean, none that you can see within camera view.
But you do
Oh,
own
no.
quite a bit of Muppets merchandise.
I do actually, and I would love to sit here and tell you everything that I own, including none
Oh,
other than
no.
Is that Kermit the Frog for
Yes,
our
Ephraim.
visually impaired?
Yay! Yeah, so
Yay!
hi ho there. Uh, yeah, so this is actually for our visually impaired viewers. I am holding an actual limited edition Disney Parks stuffed Kermit. He was sold for a limited amount of time. I did remove the tag from him, so he is not as valuable as from whence he came.
It's not mint condition.
He is not mint condition anymore. He's kind of green condition at this point.
But
Thank you.
Waka waka. Is that a good reference?
Is that Muppets?
It's a Muppet reference,
cool.
so I'll give you a performance review at the end of this. Don't worry.
Thanks. I'm gonna throw out as many Muppet impressions as I can.
Fantastic. I look forward to it.
So, you are an obsessor of all things Muppet. Is that a fair term?
Yeah, I would definitely
that-
say so.
That little bit of disgust that you said you wanted to pull you back out of the
Pull
you back out of the darkness.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Is there like, we were discussing this off stream?
Mhm.
Is there any sort of like term for people who just love the Muppets? Like, you got like, for My Little Pony, you got bronies, like excluding the negative connotation with that. You got
Continue.
Yeah, like just
For people who enjoy animals, they're furries. What we're asking is is there a thing equivalent, such as a felty, perhaps?
Honestly, I mean, felty probably does sound like the most appropriate term. And fun fact, actually, about the Muppets is that a lot of the extra Muppets that were in the background of a lot of the movies that aren't core characters, they would actually take and reuse those Muppets. So they would all be recycled and made into new ones. So you kind of get that sense of like you're kind of being passed around a lot, kind of like some sort of like dirty possession. Like you just kind of keep getting passed around a lot. Like you're getting felt up. Like that's kind of.
Ooh, the puns keep rolling.
I know. I got jokes.
This is a good episode.
Prepped. So yeah, I would say definitely to answer the question, there is an equivalent of a furry. It would be a felty probably.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
I want to delve into your expertise level a bit. I want to know what is your history with the Muppets before we get into the Muppets as a whole. Why do you like them so much to kind of set the scene?
Yeah, absolutely. So I growing up was.
Oh, I guess by the way, guys, we're talking about the Muppets today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't apparent.
Yeah, so to talk a little bit about where I come in with the Muppets. Growing up, I actually didn't know anything about the Muppets as a kid. I was a Bear in the Big Blue House fan as a child. Yeah, which is Jim Henson.
It's still Jim Henson Company, yeah.
Yep. And Sesame Street, which is definitely like Muppet territory, but was always owned by another kids television production company, so it was never under Henson Companies when it came to be. So that's why you actually don't see Sesame Street being acquired by Walt Disney Company when it did back in like 2004. So a little history on that, but Bear in the Big Blue House was a big thing for me. Sesame Street was always a classic. The older I got, I kind of fell back into the Muppets. My dad kind of grew up in that age where in like the 1970s where the Muppet Show was a big thing and would often kind of revisit that himself. And he'd be like, oh, you should come, check out these episodes. Like there's a lot of good like guest appearances on here. You should totally check it out. And so I did, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with Kermit, which sounds very felty of me. But I love how wholesome but not wholesome it is. Like it's so cleverly written to where like kids who watch it can enjoy it for what it is on the face of it, which is like pretty puppets and like funny antics and some very like dad joke humor of it all, and then you've got little like pokes and prods at adult humor as well for like parents and older kids to pick up on as well. So I think it's all around just a very well-written show that I wish would have lasted a lot longer.
For sure. I think they've tried numerous times to bring it back, and just none of them have kind of worked out. But we can probably get into that later. I want to hear what you have prepared, because I heard that you do have things prepared. So please take it away.
Yes, absolutely. So how do I want to start this? I do have an outline, but then literally my mind just went blank. So,
Happens all the time.
it's like I can't read. I can't read anymore. I literally can't read. So that's actually a good segue, is to talk about the Muppet Show and kind of what they've been up to since 1976, when it first started. So to talk about the original Muppet Show, that actually lasted for 4 seasons, from 1976 to 1981. It was originally on ABC, produced by another entertainment company and Henson Associates. It was the first kind of its kind to be this puppet variety show with a mixture of sketches and musical acts, kind of both by the Muppets themselves and also by this designated star-studded guest that they would have every episode. And so it was amazing to me, like the kind of stars that they would have come on the show. And the more I thought about it, it was like these stars have to interact and act well with puppets. Like you have to be able to have that certain personality to where you're comfortable and you don't feel above the Muppets, even though you kind of are looking down on them. Like you have to be able to interact with them well. And I think some of the guest stars that come to mind, because I just got done watching the Muppet Show last night for research purposes, as I do air quotes, not that I watch it regularly anyway. Elton John was a big guest star. I think he sang Crocodile Rock, and they had a whole, I don't even know what you call a group of alligators or a group of crocodiles, but it was like a bunch of felt crocodiles singing along with him. Like everything was just magical, to say the least. Very sequined lights, camera, very lots of flair.
Very Elton John-esque.
Yes, absolutely. Still, Sylvester Stallone was also another guest on the show. Although, I can.
Kermit, come here, Kermit. Come here, I want to show you my big old guns. Come here, Kermit.
Like that, yeah, right?
I don't know what you want me to do, Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Miss Piggy!
To the tune of Adrian, if you would.
Right. What was funny is on that episode, it actually was not my favorite episode, just because I literally could not understand what he was saying half the time. And
He's like, hey,
they forced him to do a musical number.
Oh Lord!
Oh,
Like-
I want to see him and Swedish Chef, where it's like,
hey, Swedish Chef, you come here and get the food. He's like,
I don't know.
hey, you're pretty good. You have a pretty good fish you just had. It's pretty good.
That's the secret. Sylvester Stone has just been he's been speaking just like heavily slanged Swedish.
yes, exactly.
That's why they called him.
Yep.
Why they called him.
He's the only one who can understand the Swedish Chef.
They needed a translator. That's all he was good for.
Imagine a Muppet movie called The Italian Stallion and the Swedish Chef, and it's just a buddy comedy.
Oh,
Trademark. Disney, hit me up.
Right. But going back to the musical number, the setting, if you can just close your eyes and imagine, it was Sylvester Stallone in what do you call that? A toga, like a leopard toga, and it was set in like Rome, and he was fighting a giant lion Muppet.
Oh,
and so but there was a musical number behind it. So I'm thinking, I don't even know. It's like some sort of opera-esque type thing. You still don't know what he's saying, and I guess opera was the effective thing to use or the appropriate thing to use because opera is also something that I don't understand. So it kind of it fit in quite well. Um, but as you can imagine, like all the lady Muppets, which there weren't very many like core women Muppets, but I'm not here to talk about like women Muppet rights here. But also,
Someone needs to, just
the
not on
inherent
this show.
right. That could be that could be the 5 minutes, honestly.
There you go. Yeah, you're right.
But it was the whole basis was that ladies man, all the Muppet ladies, including Miss Piggy, of course, was swooning over him, knocking
Miss
down
Piggy
his.
was an adulterer. We all know this.
I mean, someone had to say it, but someone had to say
I'll say
it. Right. I can't be the only one.
It can't be the. It surely can't just be me who thinks this.
Right. There's probably a Reddit forum out there somewhere that would agree with me as
Multiple.
well. Of course. Other guest stars also included John Denver, who
Oh hell yeah!
My favorite guest star by far. Just so wholesome, had such a great personality. Just you could tell that he just laughed and had a great time. And fun fact, John Denver actually went on to do a Christmas album with the Muppets.
Huh.
Really?
That's incredible.
Cool. Yeah. And they have a whole separate DVD. I think it's a special. It's not a Christmas special, but it's just like a special with him and the Muppets.
Wow.
As well. So he really fit in quite well, and
he really dug the Muppets.
He did.
He was a felty.
John Denver was a
felty. #felt.
John Denver and I are actually birthday twins, so
this episode's off the rails.
You know what? Guest episode, man.
You're so right.
We have a deep connection. We're both felties, and we're born on December 31st. So
our special guest this month, John Denver.
John Denver's ghost.
The ghost of
Oh, that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
The ghost of John Denver. You hired a medium that
starts here in West
John
Virginia.
October's coming up. Spookiest of seasons.
That would be a great entertain
this.
Yeah, entertain this spooktacular episode starring the guest of John Denver. Yeah.
Incredible.
I love it. Yeah, so those are just a couple of guests, name a few. Mark Hamill was also one of them. You know,
you can't just casually drop Mark Hamill.
Yeah,
Mark Hamill.
Just fine. Why not?
What has he not been on? Like, he's been a guest on everything because he's just so wonderful.
Yes.
Well, the thing about it was that Mark Hamill wasn't playing Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill was playing Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker was the guest. Yes.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker was the guest, and then they had Chewbacca and C-3PO and R2-D2 also in that episode.
That melts my brain.
But the thing was so crazy is that it was season 4. It was the final season. I don't think it was the final episode, but it was the final season. And Brayden, my boyfriend, and I were casually watching it one night. I had never seen this episode before. And at the end of it, all of the Muppets come out to the stage like they do at the end of every show. And so does Luke Skywalker and Chewbacca, C-3PO, all of them. They come out, and in the final sketch, they sing "When You Wish Upon a Star," and the Disney castle appears behind them.
Oh no, it's foreshadowing.
Brayden and I turned to each other and we're like, what the fuck is this? They've been planning this since 1981.
That's actually insane. And we're breaking it here on Entertain This.
You all heard it here first. Right.
Put on your tinfoil hats, everyone. It's time for another Entertain This crazy fan theory. Incredible.
I was so shocked. Like, my mouth dropped because I could not believe that was happening. And this was so before. I don't want to get too far into like another topic that I want to talk about, but the Muppets almost took over Disney World. And that was in 1991. So 10 years before they wanted to acquire the Muppets for Disney purposes in 1991. 10 years before that, they do that episode.
Huh. It's wild.
Insanity.
That's crazy.
Mupception. I don't know what you call that. Mupception. Like,
So
Felt session.
does that?
yeah.
So did we find out if Chewbacca is like an actual fictional character or is just like the biggest Muppet ever?
That's a great question. That's a really great question. And honestly, he's got Muppet tendencies.
He does.
I'm not gonna lie, but I think the thing that sets him apart from a Muppet is that he doesn't really have like a sound other than like gargling mouthwash. I think it.
But he
it
could
does-
have a Swedish chef and go. "Meow, meow, 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 meow."
but it's also like I can make out the words of Swedish Chef. I don't know if I'm just gifted in that area.
What? Is he speaking actual words?
Yeah, so it's some of like in the early episodes. Now, don't ask me about the newer stuff because I feel like they've definitely like mumbled him up since then.
Oh,
But in
okay.
the early episodes, like on the John Denver episode, which is my favorite, and I've watched it enough, like he's like, "Oh, we're making squirrel stew," and like, "Oh, but there's no squirrel. We have to go find the squirrel." And like I can hear him saying it. It's just very muffled, but like I get it, and like I could translate for some kids who didn't understand.
Can I say a line that he says in the movie that I know and see if you can translate me trying to do an impression of him?
I would love to try this.
Okay,
yes.
he goes, "My Herman in the dicky is burden in the chicky."
I know the last word is chicken. It's like the last three words are like in the chicken, and so I don't know. Can I get a repeat of that? Can I get
I may be just flubbing it, but I think it is. "My Herman in the jiggy is burden in the jiggy."
Wow. Wait, what movie is this from? Because
This is literally the line that they sing in the first Muppet movie with Jason Segel when he's like singing to the portraits on the wall, and one of them is of the Swedish chef.
okay.
The picture comes to life, and he says that line.
To be fair though, I haven't seen the very first Muppet movie, like the 1979 movie, in a very long time. I would say my top two favorite that I watch frequently are Muppets from Space and The Great Muppet Caper.
The Great
It's the
Muppet
Christmas
Caper.
episode one. The one like it's like the like Christmas story or whatever with the.
Oh, Christmas Carol.
Oh, it is Christmas Carol. Oh,
Yeah, that one, which actually would bring me kind of into another segment. But Alex was mentioning earlier before he put this whole show in my hands, which he might be regretting now at this point.
Not at all.
Is that yeah? He's
Okay,
right
hold on, wait, time out. Hold
What?
on, wait, time out. I have the lyrics. I have the lyrics to picture in my head, and I have the
Oh my
Swedish
God.
chef lyrics.
Yes, tell
This
me.
is for Alex at this point.
Oh yeah.
Okay, ready?
Okay, yes.
It's des förda shun du erg es fern de chicken. What does that mean?
Say it faster.
What's that? Say it to them
Des
fast.
förda. Okay, if I said des förda, what does that mean? Des förda shun du erg es fern de chicken.
This feather. It sounds like feather.
Des
Like the
förda shun du erg es fern de chicken.
It sounds like it's from the chicken. Is like the last thing that you're trying to say.
Okay, so the feather Shundurg Disferda, that's the feather. This feather.
So you
Yeah.
got that. You got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shundurg is fern the chicken. So the last one is from the chicken.
I'm
So we
locking
have-
in my answer. Yes.
Yep.
Well, we're not done yet because there's some mystery sounds in here.
Oh god. No,
This
please,
feather.
no.
So we have this feather. Shundurg. That's the part that we're missing. Shundurg.
I hate to break this to you, but no matter how many times you say it, it's not making it any clearer. I don't know if you're saying it for fun now or like what's going on, but I can't make heads or tails of it.
No.
Isn't there like
Anyway,
a
back to you.
translator?
Back to you. We'll figure it out later. Hey, comment down below if you think you know what the hell I'm saying.
Send us your best impression of the sweet.
Yeah, send that to our email.
You too could be on the next episode of the Muppets. Yeah, so like I was saying, Alex is right. There were a couple other times that the Muppets did get kind of a reboot or a facelift. Miss Piggy definitely got a facelift compared to when her original appearance in the original Muppet Show. And thank God for that, because that was hard to look at for at least 4 seasons. But there were a couple other times that
Do you have
they
a pick for reference?
I'm not going to subject you guys to that. I'm not going to subject you guys to that. It hurts me. So in 1996, they did 2 seasons of what would be called Muppets Tonight, which was a little bit of a shake up from what they did before, kind of formatted in like a late night talk show kind of way, where they would have multiple guest stars throughout the show make their appearance. And it was different than the original episodes, where you would only really allow one guest to kind of come up and do their thing, maybe do a musical number, and then the show would end. So this only went on for about 2 seasons. I think they were about anywhere from 11 to 22 episodes apiece. Stars included Sandra Bullock, Prince, Garth Brooks, John Goodman. There's not
Others.
really
etc.
There wasn't a whole lot of good things to be said about this show. Now, I have not seen this personally because I can't find it anywhere. I can find clips on YouTube, but I can't find full episodes, which bothers me because I really was hoping that Disney would have the rights to it and eventually have it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, at the very least.
Right. It feels like a disservice to Muppet fans everywhere that you're at least not going to show it to people. I mean, we got to figure it out for ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after that,
that disturbing image that I pulled up, Michael just put it in the chat. But
that is the original Miss Piggy. Yeah.
Oh my, that is like some nightmare fuel. I'm actually might not be able to sleep tonight. Thanks, Michael.
Yep.
I told you, but no one wanted to listen to the guests. They wanted to.
They needed to see for themselves.
Yeah, no. The public must know. The public must know.
All I'm gonna hear tonight is Kirby.
Kermit.
And she crawls under my bed. Kirby.
She crawls out from under your bed, even worse.
Squeal for me, Kermit. Okay.
We shouldn't be allowed to have a show anymore. We overstayed our welcome.
Yeah. Honestly, after that, which was 1996, by the way, so Muppets Tonight went from 1996 to 98. And then after that, there was big, long silence on The Muppet Show. And in 2015, they came up with the show The Muppets, which was really more of kind of formatted in a combined setting of being like a Hollywood late night talk show that was hosted by Miss Piggy, and Kermit and the crew were the production squad, really like trying to get the show to work. Yes, the evolution is astounding.
No.
Is it bad that I want Miss Piggy's outfits though? Like, I don't want to look
yeah.
like her, but like her outfits are everything. I
mean, she is like in every single image ever of her. She's like fully glammed to the nines. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
I completely get it.
What a woman.
What a pig.
what a pig. What a swine. So eventually they did only 1 season of this show. And so it was the late night talk show kind of aspect theme of the whole show, but it was kind of formatted like The Office, where you're interviewing the characters behind the scenes and you're also kind of walking around with them as they do different things throughout the day and talk to each other. I really liked that show, and I'm very bummed that they didn't continue with it, because it probably could have had some backbone to it if they had just really like nurtured the storyline and kept going with it. They could have had more guest stars and probably at least another season at minimum. But that's my own humbling opinion. I don't know anything. So
not a humble opinion, a humbling opinion.
Yeah,
It's meant
right.
to bring the rest of us to their knees.
Right.
So that makes 3 different Muppet shows, right?
Correct.
Like you got the Muppet Show, that's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Muppets Tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this one. And what's this
Yes.
one called again? Sorry.
It's just the Muppets.
Just the Muppets. So
Yeah.
we have the Muppet Show, Muppets Tonight, and now the Muppets.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you got it.
Continue.
Yes. So that one, the guest stars were not as good, I will say. I think because they also had to definitely just be regular actors. Like I said, it's like The Office style, so you're just trying to kind of fit in with the whole setting that they're putting these Muppet characters in at all times. So guest stars were like Tom Bergeron from America's Funniest Home Videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. See, Patrick's like, yeah, that guy. It's like no one gets excited, like, oh my god, Tom Bergeron, like, really, like Dancing with the Stars. Oh my god, nobody was thinking that. Nobody was thinking that. Even the joke in the Muppets show when he guest starred was Kermit going up after Tom like left a room after talking to him and going, Scooter, did you really find Tom Bergeron? And Scooter's like, yeah, what's the problem? He was like, it's Tom Bergeron. We need someone bigger. Like,
Incredible.
Oh my god.
the Muppets were roasting Tom Bergeron. That's how you know it wasn't a good selection.
Nah.
ABC did him dirty. I'm not
So
gonna-
true.
Yeah.
Thought you
so-
were a Family Network. What the heck?
Right. Who else? Imagine Dragons.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Early 2015 Imagine Dragons. That's
Hey.
something. Yeah, all right.
This is what year is this?
2015.
Okay,
So that's like them at their
they're
height.
pretty big. Yeah. They're still
Relatively
pretty
high
good,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good year for them.
R.I.P. Imagine Dragons.
Dude, they still have albums. Well, I guess their last album came out in
Post-mortem.
Just let them
Just
die.
let it die.
Just let them go.
Yeah.
Let them go, Pat. You don't got to make up these excuses for them. It's time.
I think you're imagining dragons, Patrick. I think you're just imagining it all.
I
Up.
think you like Dragon Tales.
Shut up.
Boo across
Did I
the
start
board.
singing the Dragon Tales theme song?
No, this is not that
Flashbacks?
episode. This is not this episode.
That's a feature guest episode.
Right. Put that in your quick 15, your quick 5,
And smoke
you-
it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Put that in your quick this and smoke it.
Yeah, exactly. So that was really the end of the. Oh God, I'm having.
We're just gonna get
flashbacks.
like Miss Piggy horror subliminal messaging.
So I guess I have a couple like questions that I'll throw in here and there for you guys, but who do you guys think would be the worst celebrity to have on the Muppet Show and why?
Ooh.
Oh, can I start this?
Yes, Pat.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, jump in.
All right. Oh God, what's his name? Bill Cosby.
Yeah, back in the day, he
bad.
probably would have been a fine and fair and welcome addition to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I'm talking about like nowadays. Now that we know this information, Bill Cosby.
Oh, I just thought of a very good one, but I want to go last.
Okay.
Michael, you go.
All right.
First one that came to my mind was immediately Kevin Spacey.
We're all going there, aren't we?
Yeah. It was either
Wow.
Kevin Spacey, but the other one that I had that would have been like a really fringe celebrity to bring on and no longer can happen. Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm.
Shit.
What was he famous for before he was famous for being Jeffrey Epstein? Was there anything?
I
He
don't
was
think
like
so.
just he just knew a bunch of people and
Yeah.
like was like in like Hollywood and like if you couldn't do Hollywood unless you like went with him and blah blah blah. So
Right.
that's what he was.
Okay, are you guys ready for me to set the scene?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, please.
Please do.
Okay, the scene opens. We have Kermit's back turned to us, and we hear just his banjo. Right, a very welcomed intro.
Yeah.
He turns
Yeah.
around and he goes, and he's like tuning his banjo, and he looks over to his left. He goes, "Oh, welcome to the show." And who walks on stage but Alex Jones, who then looks down at the water and says, "You been drinking that?" He goes, "Well, yeah, I'm a frog, so some of it gets inside of my mouth, sure." He goes, "You're gay." You know, they put chemicals in the water, right, Kermit? They turn the freaking frogs gay. You can't tell me there's not a worse episode of the Muppets than that.
Frogs gay. Dude, have you heard that song?
Oh, we've heard so many different Alex Jones compilations. The entirety of like our pre-episode like onboarding for our first 3 months was just showing each other different Alex Jones
So true.
compilations.
Well, I was gonna say Joe Rogan. So
There you go.
just interrogating the Muppets like one by one. So like, Kermit and everybody's like trying to ask him questions. It just doesn't end well. I was just thinking like Joe Rogan probably was pretty good.
Yeah.
I
Aren't we
like
just a great bunch of people. Our choices in this
awesome.
one.
We're awesome for sure. Well, stay tuned because there's more questions that maybe aren't as bad as that one.
Hell
More
yeah.
questions
That's
coming
pretty
up
good
next.
Yeah, stay tuned. So from there on, the only other show regarding the Muppets was really Muppet Babies, and
Muppet Babies.
Muppet Babies. I don't really know a whole lot or have seen a lot of Muppet Babies. I know that there was a reboot on the Disney Channel done back in like 2018, and I think it's still around to this day. I don't know if it has new episodes or not. But I don't know. Have you guys ever seen like Baby Looney Tunes?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I used to watch all of
Tiny
them.
Toons.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, wait,
Okay,
Baby Looney Tunes was different than
Yeah.
Tiny Toons. Baby Looney Tunes was legitimately, they are all babies and they're all being taken care
Yo.
of by Granny.
Right.
Tiny
So-
Toons is the one with the blue and the pink rabbit.
I remember Tiny Toons, not Baby Toons.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Baby Looney Tunes was like,
I think it was called
Gra-
Looney Tune Babies.
was
maybe.
it?
It's
Maybe.
I think
Someone fact check that.
If only we had our fact checker.
I know.
I know.
Baby Looney Tunes. It was just straight, simple, to the point.
Fair enough.
So essentially, it was similar to that show, even though Muppet Babies technically came before it. But it's the concept is, you've got a bunch of little babies, and they're all being taken care of by like their nanny or their grandmother, whatever. And the babies like have these imaginary games that transition from like the nursery that they're in into scenes that become like real to the babies. So they'll find themselves like on a pirate ship, or like I think there's one episode where they're like in the land of Oz from the Wizard of Oz.
And this was a cartoon, right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Well, I should say the reboot is a cartoon. Now, if we're talking about the one from 1984 to 1991, I would I'm checking myself because I want to say that they were actually puppets.
So in
Okay.
the meantime, when she picks that up, it was called Baby Looney Tunes, by the way.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. I
Fact
knew.
checked.
Fact checked. Is there like a little spinny thing that comes in like whop 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 whop? Psh, that's like fact check.
No.
That'd be cool though.
Yeah.
No, our idea was to have like a graphic that came in that was just go fact yourself. Bah!
Yeah, but that was trademarked, so we
Yeah.
couldn't.
So it looks like based on the images I am seeing that the old one was in fact legit puppets.
Nice.
Hmm.
So there were two versions. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yep. So it would appear so. So that's the essence of Muppet TV. But there are several movies.
Gosh, I really hate to do this to you being the guest host, but I am going to drop a link that will take you to a website called Muppet Wiki.
Great.
To which they list Muppet Babies as an animated TV show.
Really?
Yeah, it says Muppet Babies is an animated series co-produced by Marvel Productions,
Whoa!
Wow.
Kermit's in the
Ooh.
Marvel universe.
which ran on
Canon.
CBS for 7 years from 1984 to 1990.
Wow.
Okay. So
Wild.
interesting. So maybe the pictures are misleading then, because it like you could tell when
Okay.
something's a puppet versus a animation.
If you go
For
to
sure.
muppet.fandom.com,
Okay.
there is a chart
Okay.
of Muppet Baby characters. It is and it shows it all. Though originally there were original puppets from back in the day. Then in 1984, it was animated into a cartoon, then turned
Okay.
into a 3D model for the 2018 Muppet Babies.
Ew.
And now there are updated puppets based on the new designs from the 2018 Muppet Babies that have been turned into puppets.
So it's been
Okay.
live action turned cartoon turned 3D
Updated
animation
cartoon. Yep.
Yeah.
turned
Back into
live
puppets.
action.
Yes.
How can we sell this to the new kids? That's all I hear is cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Right. And I don't even like the way that they have the new animation set up. It's so bulbous and like creepy that if you put that in front of a kid, especially if it was like ever in 3D for any reason, you would traumatize some kids wholeheartedly.
So true.
Scares me, and I'm almost 25 years old. Jeez.
So that's the end of Muppet TV. Are we getting on to Muppet movies now? Because that's like the bread and butter.
Oh, yes.
What?
Oh, yes. So I'm going to list out all the movies for you guys. I'm not going to get into like all the specifics about what each one is about, but I do have a question following that. So in 1979, you start off with the OG Muppet movie, the one where Kermit sings Rainbow Connection, which is one of my favorite songs that I will always cry to and have an emotional breakdown. It just gets you every time.
No
It
judgment.
just gets you every time, man.
There was a kid in our school that did so we did these talent contests for guys, right? In our senior year.
It was
And
an
he
all
did-
guys school. I just want to make sure
No,
your school.
So it had men and women.
Sure. So then why only the guys get to do the talent
Because
show?
it was a mock like pageant. It was to make fun of like pageants.
It was a beauty pageant for boys.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Don't be ashamed of that. You don't have to make a joke out of it. It can be serious.
I was the prettiest boy there, so
I'm gonna be the prettiest girl at the party.
So
Am I a pretty girl?
love me. So he did a like chemistry thing to that song, and that is the only thing. Every time I hear that song, it is the only thing I hear. Is just watching that guy like for like 15 minutes go up there and mix different chemicals for his act.
Nice.
It was cool, but it was like, whatever. But I don't know if you actually watched that, or because that was hilarious.
No, I haven't, and I'm scared to now. So,
Yeah.
interesting.
Mr. SHS, look it up. It was in 2015.
Okay.
If you go and then it's on a YouTube channel, like
Mhm.
you could see the whole entire thing, and it's absolutely hilarious. You could see everybody's act, even mine, guys. So
Incredible.
Shameless
yeah.
plug.
Shameless
Shameless plug.
Absolute shameless plug.
back to when Patrick peaked in high school. That was
Oh, yeah.
that was it.
that was the day.
Yeah. Everything from there on.
It's been
Now he's-
downhill since then.
Right. Now he's got to hold a microphone up to his face. He can't even afford a mic stand.
I know, man. I'm so
We
poor.
talked about it.
It's getting rough out here. What can
Yeah.
we do?
Anyways, Chloe.
Yeah, right. Thanks. Reporting live. So the Muppet movie, the original one, was from 1979. And then 2 years after that, The Great Muppet Caper came out, which again is one of my favorites. I do have one of the original albums from that movie, like the original soundtrack, like hanging up on my wall out of sight so no one can judge me. But it is nicely framed and the record is in pristine condition. So I'll be putting that in my will to somebody, whoever's lucky enough to get that. The Muppets Take Manhattan came out in 1984. The Muppet Christmas Carol came out in 1992. Muppet Treasure Island, which featured Tim Curry, who did Rocky Horror Picture Show, was also in that, which is very good.
He's in a lot of good stuff.
He sure is. Yeah.
I was very surprised because I think the first time I ever saw it was probably just like a month or two ago, and I had no preconceived notion of like who was in this movie, who was guest starring, anything like that. And when he came out, all I could hear was like,
"Give yourself over to absolute pleasure."
That's all I could hear. I was excited, but also uncomfortable at the same time.
So understandable. I just want to take a moment to mark that this episode has been probably the episode that has my most impressions in it. Continue.
Yeah, of course. Muppets from Space came out in 1999. Another good one where you find out where Gonzo came from and his whole identity. That was a big star-studded cast. Kathy Griffin, Jeffrey Tambor, who was also the dad in Arrested Development, if anybody's ever seen that. Who else? Wow, as I like try to like name people and like nobody else comes to mind. That's great. I'm like, oh my gosh, there were so many people on this, and I'm like, yeah. Actually, hold while I
to go back to Tim Curry, he has one of my favorite like appearances in any video game ever. In Command and Conquer Red Alert 3, he's like the leader of the Russian military, and they're fighting, of course, the Americans, as it always is. And there's a live like visual thing of him, so it's like pre-recorded of him like live in person, and it's him like saying like, "You all will never catch me. I'm going to go to the one place that has not been corrupted by capitalism. Space."
Bye.
And the best part about it is like the only take they could get of him is him cracking up in the middle of the take. So he's just laughing through it. And it made it all the way to the actual video game.
Oh, Lord.
Bye.
So it turns out that Rob Schneider was also in it, and I do remember that. Rob Schneider. Hulk Hogan was also in it.
Oh, Lord. Brother.
Muppets.
And David Arquette was also in it.
Oh.
I don't know why I immediately thought of David Archuleta instead.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I almost said David Archuleta as I was reading it, and I was like, don't fuck this up. This is your one chance at fame. Don't fuck it up. So, Muppets from Space, 1999. It's a very merry Muppet Christmas movie. Came out in 2002. The Muppets Wizard of Oz came out in 2005.
Oh, man, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Just very vaguely. What? Quentin Tarantino's in this.
What?
That's Quentin Tarantino.
Really?
Incredible.
Yeah. He just plays himself.
Shocker.
What? Queen Latifah's in this as Aunt M?
Yeah. So it's like the Wiz and the Muppets
Jeffrey
came together.
Tambor comes back, by the way. The dad from Arrested Development. He plays the wizard in this one.
Oh, gotcha.
What is this?
The Wiz.
Okay. What's next?
Yep. And I promise there's only two left. One is The Muppets.
Which is so good.
Yeah.
This is the one with Jason Segel.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That came out in 2011. And then
it has Emily Blunt. It has Whoopi Goldberg, Selena Gomez, Donald Glover is in it. Neil Patrick Harris. Mickey Rooney makes an appearance.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the star-studded cast there. Yeah, that's
man.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to watch
John Krasinski's in it. Both Emily Blunt and John Krasinski are in it.
Oh, wow.
That's how they met. That's where they fell in love. The Muppets did that.
Could you imagine?
The Muppets did that. The Muppets create love. That's what they're there for.
I thought he was married to Pam.
That's the title of this episode, by the way, is The Muppets Create Love.
It's that rainbow connection they got going on.
So true. So true, bestie. And then the next one is, what was it?
The Muppets Most Wanted.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah,
last one.
that's
in
right.
2014.
It's got Ricky Gervais, Ty Burrell, Tina Fey,
Okay. Nice.
some other cameos from people like Lady Gaga, Salma Hayek. Tom Hiddleston was in that one.
Ooh.
Nice.
That's pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Usher, the guy.
Usher.
Did he go to jail?
No, Usher's fine. Usher hasn't done anything yet. We're
Yeah,
waiting.
most
We're
recent
waiting
thing-
patiently.
Yeah, he had his fantastic Tiny Desk concert recently.
Nice.
Yeah,
And it was good.
it was very good.
No, that's not.
He's the one who sings it started when we were younger, you were my boo. That's not going to be in sync, and I'm going to leave it. It doesn't even matter. It's going to be like my boo 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 boo.
It's the remix. It's the
Yeah.
remix.
We don't talk about remix ignition. R. Kelly's out.
Yeah, that's who it was. R. Kelly. I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you got it.
So, out of all the movies that I've listed, which one do you guys think was the highest grossing? I don't want to see anybody cheating. I have the answer. Which
Ooh,
one
the
was
Christmas
the
one?
highest?
Off the cuff, it's Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yep.
Highest grossing. Are we talking like initial theater release here, or
Yes.
Oh, initial theater release. It's got to be like the more recent, like the Muppets. Like there was so
No.
much hype built
Ding
up
ding
into
ding
that.
ding ding.
Yeah,
Michael got
yeah,
it
yeah.
right.
Okay.
Michael
'Cause
got
I'm-
it right.
Because I'm
That's
thinking
what-
like the like for me, it's definitely not the best one. I mean, Muppets
Lies,
like
but fine.
oh, okay. I just can't get over the Muppet Treasure Island. It's so
The
good.
soundtrack to the 2011 Muppets movie is a
Oh, it's
banger.
great. It's great.
Man
I
or
just-
Muppet? Are you kidding me? Existential dread in the form of felt? Are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It was heartfelt, Michael. It was heartfelt.
Get the
Jason
felt
Segel
out
has
of
to find himself and puts the love of his life before his own dreams in a self-sacrificing act of romance. Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you talking about?
here. So passionate about this.
Chloe, you've just unlocked a sleeping beast of Muppethood inside of Alex.
He's becoming a
I can't
felty.
wait. He's-
I feel my skin turning to felt. And so on.
Alex doesn't need to question if he's man or Muppet. He's just Muppet.
I'm just
Yeah,
Muppet.
Muppet.
Yeah.
Have you
Inside
seen
and
me?
out.
I'm a gangly, tall, pale thing who wears only long sleeves and you never see the bottom half of. So you tell me.
Mystery solved, Scooby Doo. I already figured it out. So
You pull off my flesh mask and there's Phil.
if the
Just-
mask, oh my god, if the Mask movie was remade by the Muppets, and
That's
Cameron
like a
Diaz
game
was in
that-
it,
A bunch of people play is name a famous movie. One person gets to be human and the rest have to be played by Muppets. And that's a very good selection.
That is very good.
I would say that or the Big Lebowski, where like you've got like Fozzie as Lebowski,
Oh
and
yeah.
the rest of them have to be like
Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh. I was gonna say
Wolf-
Charlotte's Web, where Miss Piggy's just the pig.
Wolf of Wall Street. The entire cast is Muppets except for Jonah Hill, who still plays Don.
Oh my god.
That's powerful.
Ooh, I would
It's
also
a
like to
powerful
see
called shot.
Shawshank Redemption, where Morgan Freeman is still just Morgan Freeman.
The Green Mile, but Tom Hanks gets to stay.
Oh, that's incredible.
Oh. Anyway, that game's over.
Ooh.
We talked about Muppets past. We've talked about Muppets present. I want to talk about Muppets future. Do you know anything? What's the hot goss on the street? Where are the Muppets at now?
Yeah, so in terms of television, I know that there is there's actually another TV show in the works on Disney Plus exclusively, which is featured just around Electric Mayhem, which is the band of the Muppets. And I
Mhm.
don't know when that is coming out. I think it might be next year. So that is something to be on the lookout for. Muppets Now was a thing kind of at the beginning of the pandemic. It was kind of like, I don't even know if I could reference any other show that it's similar to in terms of format, but basically all of the Muppets were working from home and were Skyping with each other, and there were like little sketches in between that made you believe that they were like performing them also on a video camera, like from a laptop kind of deal. I thought it wasn't all that great. And also I'm also very peeved that Kermit's voice has changed. They have a new Kermit.
What?
Of course.
So if I were to rank like the Kermits we've had in the past, I would say Jim Henson's always at the top. Like Jim Henson's Kermit was elite, and you can't fight me on that.
Yeah.
The Kermit that did the Muppet Show in 2015 was also good. I don't actually know the name of who actually
Don't
did
ruin the
that.
magic.
No, I'm not going to. No, it was
Kermit
just
is Kermit.
Kermit went through puberty. That's all we're gonna say. Kermit's just getting older.
Every once in a while, Miss Piggy punches Kermit directly in his frog throat, and sometimes it changes the octave of his voice, and we just have
He
to
just has
accept that.
He's got a
Just
frog
devious.
in his throat. He's got a frog in his throat.
And sometimes he changes
cheated
out
on
which
Miss
frog
Piggy.
is in there.
So the bottom tier Kermit the Frog voice is whoever is doing it now, because it really doesn't sound like Kermit. It sounds like
Straight to the bottom.
yeah, straight to the bottom. Like the guy sounds like someone that gets work for doing impressions like on Cameo. You know, it's not the real Kermit, but he's like trying to get money just by doing Kermit impressions, and he's not.
And he
very
is.
good.
And he is getting money
He's
by
getting-
doing Kermit impressions.
Yeah,
That's what's happening.
apparently not enough, because they're really not bringing the Muppets back now, are they? Like it's yeah.
Called, shot, and heard.
Just
Well,
my-
I want to end this segment doing something that I think is a little fun, if you guys are down, which is let's just go round robin and say who our favorite Muppet is. We'll start with Michael.
Okay.
Oh God, he's the drummer in the band. I can't remember his name.
His name is Animal.
Animal. Yep. Gotta love Animal.
Okay.
Pat?
Beaker.
Ooh, very good. Chloe?
Okay. Gonzo.
Oh, very good. I was gonna say Animal. That's why I immediately knew. Michael was like, who's the drummer in the band? Okay, Animal. I was like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Animal. So yeah, mine's Animal. But anyway, thank you so much, Chloe, for coming on and talking with us about the Muppets.
So
Yay!
good.
Thank you very much. It
How
was a good time.
exciting. Is there a place for you to watch the Muppets now? Is it all on Disney Plus because Disney bought them?
Actually, no. So if you want to watch the Muppet Show, the original one from 1976, and Muppets Now, and potentially in the future the Electric Mayhem Show and the Muppets from 2015, you can find that all on Disney Plus. Muppets from Space and Muppets Take Manhattan is now officially streaming on Hulu.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Catch up on your Muppet discography. Chloe, please do stick around as we continue forward, because we're about to transition to our Quick This segment right after this musical break. I added music here. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. And yeah, it's a beautiful day when you get to watch your baby boy transition into the next phase of his life, whether it be, college or even kindergarten graduations. And I'm sure a lot of people are experiencing that right now. But I, too, have a very proud moment where I get to welcome Patrick into the world of Quick This by asking Patrick, for the first time ever, do you have a Quick This for us?
I do have.
Yes! Let's
Hell
do
yeah.
it then.
All right.
Who's got a timer?
I
There
got
it
one
is.
right here for you. All right. You ready?
I am ready. Give me the 5.
3, 2, 1. Quick this.
All right. So it isn't a shocker that Cartoon Network was my favorite channel as a kid. I did do Ed, and Eddie as my first one. So I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Cartoon Network, where they came from, and some good shows that are on there. Eventually, I'd like to get into all these, so these could always definitely segue. But we'll just start out with Cartoon Network is owned by Warner Brothers. They do own Boomerang, Cartoon, Adult Swim, and Toonami. All great. They're founded by Ted Turner and Betty Cohen, which was the first president of Cartoon Network, and it was launched in October 1st, 1992. So just the amount of list of shows, I'm going to start reading them off, and you're going to start getting nostalgia, everybody. All right, you ready for this?
All right, let's do it.
All right. The Moxie Show, which, Space Ghost.
Mhm.
Space Ghost from Coast to Coast.
Yep. What a cartoon. Here's where it starts getting good. Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny
Mhm.
Bravo, Cow and Chicken, I Am Weasel, The Powerpuff Girls, Ed, Ed, and Eddie, Mike, Lou, and Og. I don't think I watched that as much, but here's
remember it,
another good
though.
one. Courage the Cowardly Dog,
Oh yeah,
Sheep in the Big City, Time Squad, which I love Time Squad.
I did too. Yeah.
Samurai Jack, such a big one. Here's another one that I used to like get freaked out by, besides Courage the Cowardly Dog. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Oh, that freaked you out.
It did on some of like the weird monster ones, but for the most part, it was good. Grim and Evil.
Yep.
Whatever Happened to Robot Jones.
Oh my god,
Forgot
yeah.
about that one.
Code Name Kids Next Door, which
Another incredible.
we were
one.
talking about like last week on the podcast about some of the like fan theories. I'd love to get into that.
Yeah.
Kid named Code or Kids Next Door.
Yeah.
Evil Con Carne, which
Yep.
gosh, I love that.
That
show.
was the prefix for the side by side show with Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
exactly,
Yep.
yeah. And then the neighbor ended up being stole from that show anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
which made for a lot of good show. So this one has to be by far one of my favorite, the Star Wars Clone Wars series.
Yes, made by the
Ah.
same people who made Samurai Jack.
Yes. So
Mhm.
that's I do like the later Clone Wars that came out. But again, the first one is always just super
Whole
cool.
nother level.
Yeah. Mega XLR,
Mm-hmm.
Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. How am I doing on time?
You are at 2 minutes 45 seconds.
Fantastic. Hi Puffy MIUE.
Yeah, they were the
really
people.
cool. Yeah,
They were the ones who sang the intro to Teen Titans.
they did.
Yep.
They did. By the way, for Teen Titans, so during the episodes that were going to be fun and light, they were sung in Japanese. The episodes that were serious were all done in English.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. They had a system.
Another good show, the Life and Times of Juniper Lee.
I don't remember that one.
It's a good one. We could definitely go into that episode. Another good one here is Camp Laszlo.
Camp Laszlo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
That
god.
one had a pretty wild ending, if I
yeah,
remember.
it did.
Yes.
The ending was ridiculous.
Do you
Trying to
want
remember what it
Do you want it
was.
spoiled for y'all?
Yeah,
All right.
go ahead.
So
Spoiler alert for Camp Laszlo.
spoiler alert. So what ends up happening is, oh God, what's his name? Rumpus, or like the
Camp counselor, right?
Camp
Yeah.
counselor
The director.
gets arrested because the original camp counselor,
Yeah.
he threw him in the closet and locked him away, and has been running this place by like
Yeah, he
but-
wasn't the camp counselor the whole
Yeah.
time. That was it.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is
Oh my
like wild.
God. What?
Absolutely
Yeah.
nuts. I remember watching that as a kid and being like, what just happened?
It
Oh my
was
God.
it was a crazy one. But Sunday Pants is another one. I don't really know much about that one. My gym partner is a monkey. That
My
one.
Yeah.
gym
Yes.
partner.
That was
monkey.
that was when they started to lose me. Like I thought
Really?
it was okay, but it was just like, all right, this is
My gym partner's a monkey was great.
It was kind of gross though.
It was kind
Yeah.
of gross.
It
but
was
it
a
was
little
neat.
gross.
They had fish in that school, and the
Yep.
fish like had their way of traveling through the school by tube. It
Yeah.
was neat.
So here's another good one. Ben 10. That one
Mm.
was a
Yeah.
cool one. And then it got 3 different spin-offs. So like, yeah.
Yep.
Squirrel Boy, Class of 3000, which was cool for music.
Oh, I
liked it,
loved
yeah.
Class of 3000.
Chowder. Can't forget
Yeah.
Chowder.
Chowder's
Chowder.
great. Chowder really broke some like barriers in
It
cartooning.
did.
Definitely
One of the
did.
most memorable episodes is the one where they lose funding and they have to do a car wash in live action to like earn enough money to hire the animators back.
It was so
Wild
great, man.
show.
Another show
Right.
that we need to get into. Transformers Animated.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Ben 10 Alien Force, which again was crazy. But okay, so we talked about this one last week too. The Marvelous Adventures of Flapjack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flapjack.
It's the misadventures of
Yeah.
Flapjack. The
Marvelous
Misadventures.
Misadventures of Flapjack. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That one's also wild. It's along the same vein as Chowder.
Yes. The Secret Saturdays, and then one of probably my all-time favorites, second to the Avatar, is Adventure Time.
Yeah.
You're at 6 minutes.
All right. Well, there's a lot more on this list, man. But
We can't go through every
can't go
single
through-
cartoon that's been shown on Cartoon Network.
But I'm telling you, man, it's we'll have to get into more. But
Just a
thank you very
solid,
much for
like,
this.
A solid 15 to 20 year run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of shows to get into there. Well, I want to thank Chloe for coming on and talking with us about the Muppets. What a great episode this was, and we are so appreciative that you came on. If you have anything that you want to plug, now is your opportunity to do so. But I don't think you're very public facing, so if you just want to plug like your social medias, if you want followers, go for it. If not, pass.
Yeah, so I am so not on social media normally. So my handle for my Instagram at least is Hootie _and _the _clowfish. So Hootie and the Clowfish.
That's very good.
Thank you. Thank you. That's been my handle
Very good.
since I've been in high school. So
For
I
since you've
never-
been in high school, that's wild.
Yeah, I never changed
Awesome.
it.
That's
So-
crazy. All right. Well, thank you again for coming on. Hey, if there's anything in the realm of entertainment that we haven't covered yet that you'd like to hear us talk about, do what Chloe did and go onto our website,
Please.
www.entertainthis.com/et-podcast. Scroll all the way to the bottom and fill out the little questionnaire there. Get sent straight to us. And hey, who knows? We might just ask you to come on and be a guest on the show like we did Chloe. There are other ways that you can reach out to us. One of them is just emailing us directly at entertainthispodcast@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Twitter. We're entertain_this. On Instagram, we are entertain this podcast. And on Facebook, we are podcast entertain this. And as always, entertain us so we can entertain you. And you can entertain this. We'll see you guys next Friday. Bye.
Hey, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Doing okay over there, Alex?
Nope, I clicked the wrong one.